as well as through my art working in theater, is how I also represent the Black trans male voice, or a portion of Black trans male voices.
So basically, your fight is for the equality of people of color in our community.
Yes,
Now,
yes,
you say you come from a theater background.
yes.
Now, have we seen anything that you've done? Has anything been on the main stage?
Yes. So in 2009, I was actually in a production of a show called Secrets of a Black Boy, which is a production that was written by Darren Anthony, who is
Mhm.
the brother of Trey Anthony, who wrote The Kink in My Hair. So he wrote the male response to The Kink in My Hair, and I happened to be one of the people in that cast. So I came on one of the later iterations of it, and I toured and worked with that show up until about 2015, 2016, I want to say.
Mhm.
So that was the first real professional show that I was a part of. And
Mhm.
then in 2015, I started writing my one-man show, 1111, and that got put on at the Riser Project at the Theater Center last year. So
Mhm.
I'm slowly making my rounds, doing little things here and there,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I actually know Trey Anthony. She had me one
Okay,
year
nice.
perform when she did the show Miss Curvaceous Vivacious. You remember that?
Okay,
She did that
yeah.
at the Jewish Community Center, and she had me perform, and it was a wonderful experience. She's a great person. And then I used to hang out with her in her backyard and all kinds of crazy stuff and just chat.
Yeah.
Now, you say that this is your passion. Your
Yeah.
passion is advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I also saw something where it says that you are a traditional healer. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
So, so my background, I am half South African. So
Okay.
my mother is South African. My father's from the West Indies. So on my mother's side of the family, there are traditional healers, and in South Africa, traditional healer in South Africa is called a sangoma. In Jamaica, in other islands, you might go to what they call an obia man. So it's similar in that kind of respect. So I deal with herbs. I do divinations. I'm able to assist people in healing them through things that they're going through in their lives. So I'm able to see what's happening past, present, and future, and assist them in how to get themselves through those situations. So that's one of my purposes on this earth. And I use that alongside the art that I do as a way of healing people. So when people come out to see me perform, it is a form of healing for them to see themselves represented.
Okay. So are you an actor or a
Yeah.
performer?
I'm a bit of everything.
Okay.
I call myself a Jamal of all hustles. I
Okay.
started out acting. That was initially all I wanted to do. And then,
Mhm.
of course, life leads you down a different path. And I started writing my own show. So I'm also a playwright. I stage manage for other artists as well and production manage
Mhm.
and slowly getting to directing. So I do a bit of everything, really. I do a
Okay.
bit of everything. So I would say I'm an artist more than
Oh,
anything.
I always say I'm a starving artist. I'm trying to get there. Um, Now, do you take part in any social groups now or recently in the last few years in the LGBT pronoun community?
For a long time, I've been a part of the House of Monroe. So
Okay.
I've done work within the ballroom community. So we do community events. We throw balls, but we also go out and assist the community in different things, whether it's with food drives, taking part in the AIDS walk, etc. I used to also be a part of BQI, so Black Queer Youth, which is a part of supporting our youth soy. So I've been doing stuff in little stages here and there. I've worked in clubs, I work in the community. People know me for doing that kind of stuff. And I'm
Mhm.
generally just around as a mentor to anybody that needs assistance.
Okay. Now, I'm going to get into a few things about your life a little bit later on in the show. I want to talk about a couple of things that I think maybe you can help explain to our audience. Now, in the last few years, as you know, I was very active in the Pride Parade and I've been performing in the community for over 30 years. So I'm
Yeah.
very in tune with what's going on in our community, whether it's
Mhm.
good or bad. We hear it all.
Yeah.
And when you do drag, you see it all.
Yeah.
So um, there has something that came up a few years ago about a group called Black Lives Matter. Have you heard of this group?
I
Are you
have.
part of this
I know
group?
people that are part of it.
Okay, you're not a part of it.
No, I'm not a part of it, but I do understand the work that they're doing. I appreciate the work that they're doing. Yeah.
Okay. Can I just ask a couple of questions because um, for me, I had a few issues with a lot of the, let's just say, how they did things. So maybe you can clear it up and I'll have a better understanding in my mind. And to the people that are watching, what happened? Now, why do you think Black Lives targeted the Pride Parade, the gay Pride Parade that includes us all?
I think the reality is that Pride, and in and of itself, the history of the Pride Parade is a political history.
Yes.
And to deny that is taking away from the actual reason as to why we even became a thing, why Pride became a thing, right? When we didn't have places to share space, we didn't have a place we could exist and be ourselves. It was a way of fighting back against a system that wanted to keep our entire existence in a closet, right? So finding a way for us to be proud about it was a beautiful thing, right? Hence
Mm-hmm.
the beginnings of the Pride Parade, or part of the beginnings of the Pride Parade. Um, and I think over the years, Pride has become a very commercialized thing for
Mm-hmm.
a lot of cities, realistically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the time, anytime any corporation realizes that there's a community that they can gain some form of relationship with in terms of being able to themselves as a company benefit, they'll
Mm-hmm.
find a way to assist that community as well. But sometimes it's self-serving. Not
Okay.
always, but sometimes it can be self-serving,
Okay.
right? Which is why there are some communities who and some companies where when it's Pride, they have all their Pride flags out and they do all the promotions possible, but the rest of the year there's nothing. You see nothing. They don't talk about it. They don't. They some of their customers even will look at queer people in those spaces as though we don't belong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which becomes very hard to deal with because then you're constantly feeling as though you have to be in a closet in some way, shape, or form. Society is trying to push you back in a closet, which isn't exactly fair, right? So I think with BLM, what BLM was trying to do is trying to regain and assist not just the Black community and Blockorama and Blackness, yes, but other groups of color that are part of Pride that have gotten stomped over a little bit over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Pride has not always provided the same amount of funds to all groups and all stages that they have, which isn't
Mm-hmm.
fair, right? There were years when I volunteered for Blockorama for years. Since I first came out, I volunteered for Blockorama. And there were years where initially we were at the stage at Wellesley Station across from Wellesley Station in that parking lot, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then one year out of the blue, saying nothing to the group that was running Blockorama, we got moved to the parking lot behind the beer store, which
No,
as most people know, the crowd that comes out to Blockorama in
it's
no way,
huge.
shape, or form can
Yeah, it's
safely,
huge.
right? It cannot safely exist in that small parking lot. It can't.
Yeah,
And
I
what was
understand.
happening? Injuries happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard for paramedics to even get in. And as well, Blockorama being a space that was geared as a family